In this video, we're going to look at the Clippers' suffocating first quarter defense in a win on Monday against Memphis. As the ball is set to be inbounded by Dillon Brooks, Kawhi Leonard is tasked with guarding Ja Morant. Leonard does a good job with the strong ball denial, forcing the inbound elsewhere. Brooks has to go to the secondary option as Patrick Beverley shades to take away another inbound choice, and Ivica Zubac is pushing Jonas Valanciunas further away from the hoop. The ball finds Jonas and then is given back to Brooks, but Beverley and Zubac swarm Brooks in the corner as Paul George is in the middle of the floor as the main help defender. When Brooks beats Zubac along the baseline, George rotates over to help and jumps towards Brooks. This forces Leonard to read and react as the help defender rotate down. Leonard and Zubac force Kyle Anderson to hesitate with a shot, and Marcus Morris Sr. digs down and gets a hands on the ball to deflect it away and force Memphis into a quick reset. Brooks has the ball on the perimeter, and he goes to pass when we can see Beverley stuck in the paint as he dug down earlier, but he has to get out to the shooter on the wing. Beverley wastes no time in getting out there, but he does a smart thing. He doesn't jump. Instead, he stunts and forces Morant to take the shot rather than drive. It results in a stop as Morant is not a great shooter. With 10 minutes to go in the opening frame, Patrick Beverley does a great job of ball denying Dillon Brooks on the perimeter and forcing the ball to go to Jonas Valanciunas at the point. As Dillon Brooks comes over the Jonas Valanciunas screen to fake the handoff, Zubac does a smart thing and fades back to prevent the backdoor passing lane and thus forcing Valanciunas into keeping the ball. When Beverley gets back into position, Zubac creeps back up and then Memphis goes into a pick and roll, which Paul George opts to ice, while Zubac, conversely, is in drop coverage. Ja Morant wants the layup off the drive, but Zubac contested it well enough to force Morant into a pass instead to the rolling Valanciunas in a tight space. Patrick Beverley reads the action and digs down to help. The pass is slightly bobbled by Jonas, but Beverley also deflects it off of the Grizzly to get the Clippers another stop. Here, Memphis attempts to run another pick and roll above the arc, to which Patrick Beverley answers by opting to ice the action like Paul George before him. As the Clippers switch on the perimeter, Marcus Morris Sr. is put onto Morant and effectively walls him off on the drive, which ends up forcing Ja Morant to pull the ball back out to the perimeter. When Gorgui Dieng slips through, Zubac motions to Beverley to switch, and we're going to see multiple switches here, as George switches from Brooks in the near side corner to Valanciunas under the basket, thus allowing Beverley to slide all the way across. As the ball ends up getting entered into Valanciunas in the post, Zubac comes over to help George on the double, and Marcus Morris reads it perfectly by rotating over to the corner shooter, which Zubac helped off of. George recognizes that help right away and sprints out to Morant on the wing, who is left by Morris. George helped the helper, as he should. When Morant attacks George's closeout, Beverley digs down into the lane to help on the drive and force Morant into giving the ball up. This forces Beverley to get in out to stunt and recover to his own man. Beverley does a beautiful job of doing that and contests the shot by Dillon Brooks well enough to force a miss. It's yet another superb rotational play by the Clippers defense. Lastly, Memphis has the ball in secondary transition and opts to go right into a pick and roll against the two Clippers bigs on the floor, Ivica Zubac and Marcus Morris Sr. When Dillon Brooks turns the corner on the screen to go downhill, Zubac slides over and shuts off the angle to the basket. Marcus Morris also reacts and is already digging back to Jonas. As the pass from Brooks to Jonas is made, Morris gets his hand into the passing lane and forces the steal to get the Clippers the ball back and continue their great defense.